had the situation with John the Baptist, and his head was cut off, according to the story. Jesus didn't try to fix it because something you have to know this needs to be fixed and this needs to come to pass. Because if he really wanted to show his power, you put the head back on a man, you put the head back on a man whose head had been cut off. That's a real show of power right there.
Yeah.
Is that Brother Darrell talking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 Brother
you can't
Darrell,
tell.
Brother Darrell, that definition you wrote, bro, I commend you on that, bro. That was hype. That was fire.
okay,
I
yeah,
like that. That's why I know you think I was probably picking at you, but I wasn't. Because a definition starts everything.
yes,
And
yes,
when you have a definition, if you apply that definition, things can become that definition. But
yes,
the definition or similar would have to be applied the way you wrote it in order for it to matter or say or even like to have a discussion on it and have a clear back and forth on it. It must be known that a new definition is being applied. And here's
yes.
the definition. Yo, bro, that was genius, bro. I love it.
And what happens when we all plug into that definition, and I say that's when I say unity can form around just something like that. Even if we don't go with that definition, but at least
Yes,
understand how
sir.
to redefine reality, because there's something known as the Pygmalion effect, meaning that how what you a word becomes flesh, and that's what has happened now. For them putting the definition back like they did and posted it for everybody to see, that definition is now law. So anytime we're not being what the definition of black said, we actually are breaking the law. Anytime we love ourselves, it's not being evil, not being wicked, we're breaking the law. Because the law is already, they've already written the law as to what black should be. We are breaking the law being
Thank
at
you.
peace.
Thank you, because I didn't have to go deep into it. Thank you for saying that, because that's the truth. What you just told the very truth, bro.
Oh
That
yeah,
definition is hot.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're going 60 miles down the street and there's no posted speed limit sign, you have not broken the law. But once they post the speed limit, then you've broken the law. So that's the thing about what I try to get us to understand with the definition black as it is, we have become that because somebody wrote it. And it took us generation and generation before we start manifesting that reality. And then white people start becoming the definition that they posted. And what I point out is we did not have a seat at the table when the definition of black was being written. We didn't have a seat at the table. And what happens when you're culturally conditioned, anytime you come into any culture, you don't have a choice as to what somebody teaches. When we were 2 years old and somebody said, this is a chair, you didn't have the right to say, well, I don't want to call this a chair. When somebody showed you this was an automobile, the culture gives us our understanding of everything in creation. And so what it is, language is an agreement to see reality from the same term. So we agree to see reality from the cultural understanding. Now it's time for us to break that agreement, break the contract. So when you say I'm the black sheep of the family, I'm
Amen.
trying to be the black sheep of the family. When you say I'm practicing black man, I'm trying to practice black magic. And don't forget, this stuff is posted in our face, but we did not know that they were deliberately in our face, making us see ourselves from a particular lens. And here's another thing with the definition that I posted, energy works like this. Anytime electrons are moving and they move in the same direction, they create what's called a magnetic field. So if we get on one accord with the definition, before anything can ever come to pass, you have to create the field first. What they call a morphic field. When birds fly in unison or when schools of fish get together, they create this field and they all feel the same vibration. Once we create the morphic field of getting on one accord and saying we're changing how we understand black, they don't have to change it. We have to, because they're not going to come along and change that definition for us. We have to do that. And if we don't do it, then the generation behind us will continue to go through the same thing of wondering how come they have this, how come they can't come together in unity? Because once again, you cannot unify with that you think is evil. I was asking the brother, they showed some Indians or what they call Native Americans, some cowboy and Indian movies. And when the Native Americans saw the cowboy and Indian movies, who do you think the Native Americans sided with? Huh? Did I lose everybody?
He said, "Who does? Who do you think that he sided with?" I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know
saying,
who they sided with, so
yeah,
that's how it's like.
yeah, yeah. Let me say it again. When they show some Indians, what's called the Native Americans, cowboy and Indian movies, and the cowboy was beating up the Indians, who do you think the Indians sided with while watching the movie?
I
They
would say,
sided.
I would say the Indian.
You would think they sided with the cowboy, but why the cowboy? Do you know why the cowboy? Because they could not see themselves as evil. As long as the cowboy was on the side of good, they could not identify with the Indian, even though the Indians looked like them. They could not identify with the Indian when the Indians were doing evil. And I've said to myself, well, how could they not do that? Then I thought about the Tarzan movie. When I saw the Tarzan movie, and I saw Tarzan going there beating up them black people, I was saying, get him, Tarzan, get him. Because I could not identify with the black people, even though they looked like me, they didn't behave like me.
Hey bro, you know who the Mingos is?
No,
Not the rap group.
no,
Oh, okay.
The
Is
mangoes.
that like the Maroons?
I only asked you
Is
that
that
because of what you're saying, and I'll be like I told you yesterday when we was talking. You got to educate yourself more on the things you be bringing up for you to set a claim on something
Oh,
at the end of the day, like that. I mean, because the reason why the Indians would have had started with the white cowboys is because what most people don't know, the cowboy culture is actually native culture type shit. The first motherfucking cowboys was Mingos. They was Mexicans at the end of the day, and other native people and shit. You feel me? So they sided with them because they adapted their culture, and they
no,
was
no,
being
no.
oppressed at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't about that. It was about once the Indians.
Yeah, it was to try to separate them from their culture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is when they showed the Indians a negative Indian, the Indians didn't see themselves in that. The same way I didn't see myself in the Tarzan movie with the native people acting ignorant. Exactly, exactly, and that's reason we want to get with white people because they have put themselves as light beings, and we want to be connected to any winning team. Then they made us a certain way. And my thing is, once again, once we understand that white has been haloed and black has been demonized, then we understand what we need to unite behind. That's where the unity comes from. They did that to us, so they declared war on us. And what it is, yes, 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 yes. And the thing about it, when you get a new belief system in you, your genes, the genes that we have right now, can rearrange themselves. Our genes are the genes that we have today because of a belief system that we have about certain concepts of reality. So when we get a new belief system working in us, there's a term called jumping genes, where genes can move from the structure that they have now to the new structure that they're to the new structure of the new belief system that's given to them. And that's the beauty in it. Just because we are this
Say
today,
that
we
again.
won't be the same people tomorrow once we get a new belief system in us. And that's the reason there's been such a campaign to make sure that they hide certain truths because they understand what we're capable of. I'm gonna tell you this, in the 1700s, 1600s, when they would start looking at stuff that was black and start seeing the qualities and properties in it, they then start saying we have to go to work to make sure that they never embrace this quality about themselves. This guy named what's name Henry Berry, who was in I think the Virginia legislature, said that we have cut off every avenue by which light can enter the slave's mind, and they said that we have reduced them to the level of a beast. And they said if we could go further, we would be safe. But the thing about it, once again, all of that was to be designed for a season. I believe we wrote it this way. We wrote our dissension, but we also wrote our rising. Because once again, a weaker people like that couldn't ever be in power if we were in our full august state. If we were in our full brilliance, they couldn't do that. So we had to go to sleep, just like the cicada beetle, for a certain period of time, or be in the grave. But at the end of a cycle, it'll be certain thing in the atmosphere that will start to cause a resurrection in our gifts.
So brother Darrell, you just said you admit we wrote it without our dissension. So we first, let's stop giving what we call white people credit for building anything except for they turn stuff upside down.
Okay.
It was our people through alchemy who decided that dark and black are two different substances, because dark goes away when light comes to it, what we consider light, and then black snuffs all the light. So when our alchemy, we agreed to this, and we said, but black didn't represent people. Black is death because it kills off everything, and white is light. White is bright. So when it came to the creator, that's why we have descriptions of the creator being a bright light, because no, you'll go blind seeing. So see, we did do that first. Now what had happened was, by the time we get to the 1800s, the 16 and 17, 1800s, it got manipulated on paper by the Caucasians. But we already was going by black is death, white is the light, because of the simple products within chemistry and whatever, science. In science, we just had that. And then they came along, they manipulated it into what we have today. And again, I'm gonna say some of our people were sitting at that table when that got done. They agreed to have that done, have this done to us. That's
Absolutely.
why reading your definition and knowing law, I would ask you to take out the Afro-American part, and then I would suggest a few more things that you put in there, because you just said it's a definition. If we go by it, it's law. And that's all it need to be, is what we go by. Everybody else don't have to use it at all.
Yeah.
We can't let them kill it. We can't let them kill it like they came along and killed the N-word. That was killing us again, because we chose N-I-G-G-A, not them. They wanted to put that German ER on it. But then they said, no, kill the N-word. Well, for all my side stars, let's kill the B word before we kill the N-word, because a Naga, I'm a Naga, I'm a Negus all day. Y'all just can't say it because you don't talk like us. But brother, hands up on that definition. And even as a Moor, I'm telling you, so for certain things in it, I'll adopt that definition. I'll start rocking that definition, but without the people doing it, it will mean nothing.
And what we have to do is get the people to understand the benefit of it, because once again, once we understand that, once a new understanding of something comes into you, you have a genetic realignment. Your brain will start growing what's called a term called neuroplasticity. The brain will rewire itself based on new information given to it. So this is how we become new, because once again, we are the people that we are today because we have ingested a philosophy of a European philosophy which does not serve us and does not ignite our gifts. And if we're going to be these people that become the total brilliance as to what we can become, the first thing that God told Adam, that whatever you call a thing is going to be that. So that's when I put on the other day, I said, we become the new Adam and Eve of a new way. Us just because we have to promote it. Because once again, white people are not going to promote that because it does not benefit them. We have to promote it. When we have our children, once our children plug into that reality, that black dog, that white dog, brown dog, if our children had that circulating in them, they would look at, oh shit, they'd have knocked that white dog. Shit, get this damn white dog out of the way. Shit, I know who I am. I'm
that
light.
They are the ether. They are the ether of the creator. Ooh.
Yeah. But I want to address something you said about that when darkness comes. No, when you turn on a light, that black that was in that is the support system for the light that you're seeing. Just like when you look at the sun up there, it's all that blackness around the sun that is the support system for everything. So even though the sun takes a back, even though the blackness takes a back seat and let the sun shine, the sun then absorbs the blackness and radiates it out in what's called a white glow. If you ever look at what's called carbon lamps, they take two black carbon rods and put a gap between it. And the result of that gap, when they have a power current going through, is a white arc. White people took the white arc from the black carbon and said that was them. And that guy electromagnetism, that's what I keep trying to get him to understand. He keeps thinking that this white light is different than the black hue. Let me say it again, once again.
No,
Two
he
carbon
don't. No,
rods.
he don't. Don't do that. No, he don't. He understands that the black and the white motherfucker is both light at the end of the day. We ain't gonna do that, bro, because I represent the same shit. We all understand that what people call him black or darkness is actually light, like the light you can see. The human eye just ain't focused in enough to be able to see the entire light spectrum at the end of the day. So he also believes that the darkness is light.
If you can see black, you can see the entire spectrum. What he does
No,
not
you
want to
can't.
see,
No, you can't, because at the end of the day,
you
I
can't
ain't
see
even got the
blackness.
time. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you just unpack your shit. I ain't got time right now to get into the logistics of it,
Well,
because I'm about to go on the
I'm
bank.
asking you a question. I'm asking you can't see blackness.
You see blackness, but the
Then that's
blackness
light.
that you no,
That's light.
it is light, but it is
So
not
you
the
say you
correct
can't see the.
spectrum. It is not the correct spectrum. That's why it appears black to us. I can take you
No.
to a couple other animal species that can actually see the black spectrum that we see, but they don't see it as black. They see it as actual color. We could use birds, for instance.
Hey y'all, I got the home healthcare people from the seat by my mom. I'm gonna hit the mute button for a minute, but I'll be back in just a minute.
I'll be back too. I'm about to go into the bank real quick. I'll be back.
Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
All right. All right. Come on this way.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing
Well,
today?
you probably want to mute
What's up,
yourself.
fellas?
Hey, come on in. Mom,
Well,
this
that's
way.
supposed to be listening.
And this way. Yeah.
I just don't understand how dark is light. And because if you go in a room and close the door in the dark, I will not see until I have light. And I understand the spectrum stuff. But if I go in a room, turn on a light, I'm not walking around in the dark. That appears black. I'm not walking around in that. Are you side stars there? Okay. Maybe you want to play some music till everybody come back, or play a commercial.
Right here too.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I don't know. Okay, I'm not having nothing to do with that. I don't know where that came from. I can't.
send me the link.
So let me. I sent you two a post in particular in the back chat.
All right. All right. Okay.
Okay.